Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
So taking notes, Secretariat here can collect names. Do you have a list? Maybe you can submit a pager. Or we use the one which is in the attachment.
Or we can share the names later, or we can update these titles against the names. Then you can
please, it has to appear that way, and that is going to form part of the evidence that we're going to have. Proceed.
Thank you, Chair, for the direction and guidance. So the bid opening were done by 1, the assistant accountant, 2, the HR and administration officer, number 3, the accountant, number 4, assistant benefits officer, and number 5, procurement and disposal officer, who happened to be myself. At the time of bid opening, there were no bidders or their representatives who witnessed the bid. The results of that bid opening was as follows. KCM Consulting had quoted 30,900,000. EMJ Advisory Public Accountants quoted 26,980,000. Those were the prices laid out during the bid opening. Bid evaluation. On 7th November 2025, 7th November 2025, an ad hoc evaluation team was constituted and did the evaluation at PSPTF offices in the same conference room, and the evaluation team comprised the following members: Honorable Chair and the members, as of from the guidance from the Chair, I'm only mentioning of the titles, but I will put the names, then we'll share the document. So the team of the evaluation were as follows. Number 1, there was an HR and administration officer. Number 2, an assistant accountant. Number 3, an assistant benefit and administration officer. Number 4, the procurement and disposal officer. After the evaluation report was prepared and signed by all members and is in file. And the evaluation team recommended to award contract to EMJ Advisory Public Accountants, being the lowest bidder. Number 7, approval of the bid evaluation report. Honorable Chair, the bid evaluation report was presented to the IPDC of PSPTF on 10th November 2025. And the IPDC approved award of contract to AMJ Advisory Public Accountants as recommended by the evaluation team. The committee further, Chair, agreed to invite the successful bidder for contract negotiation on 12th November 2025. Contract negotiation. The successful bidder was invited to contract negotiation, which took place at PSPTF offices on 12th November 2025. It was attended by the following members. 1, Senior HR and Administration Officer from PSPTF, the Accountant, PSPTF, Benefits and Administration Officer, PSPTF, Public Relations Officer, PSPTF, Procurement and Disposal Officer, PSPTF, Isaac Chaponda, that's number 6, EMJ Advisory, and lastly, number 7, M. Chisale, also of
Mr. Ntambo. The other ones that you're just mentioning, the rest you're talking in terms of their position or the titles, but you've noted that from there, here there's Chaponda, and there's another one. What is their role? So you may even qualify that for the sake of everyone. You may proceed.
Thank you, Chair. For these ones from AMJ Advisory, I think I can get their titles if I visit their documentation. I've just mentioned because these ones, others, have provided their titles because they are from PSPTF. Thank you. So, after that negotiation, the minutes of contract negotiation were prepared and signed by all attendees. Lastly, Chair, is now on contract award. The contract award between PSPTF and EMJ Advisory was prepared and was signed on 14th November 2025. Honorable Chair and Honorable Committee, I submit.
Switch off your mic. Controlling Officer, you have something because you had just, let me withdraw that, Investment Manager. Do you have something to say or you want to proceed? Kindly proceed.
Thank you very much. I would like to proceed in this manner. On 14th November 2025, a report from EMJ Advisory was shared 14th November. So a report was shared with the Planning and Investments Department by the APO via
Molanje Southeast, what is out of order?
Chair, I just want this to be put on record. If I got it straight, that the contract has been offered and signed on the 14th of November, and on the very same date that the contractor has been offered, the consultant has a report ready to present to the fund. Yes or no?
I think with the submission that has been made by the procurement officer and my just submission, we can conclude that's what transpired.
We'll proceed for the sake of everything, but when you're done, other members, maybe you may wish to give her space. She concludes, because like the procurement manager had indicated a few things. So I welcomed him to Parliament, that Mr. Ntambo welcome to Parliament, because I know it's the heart of the procurement. So from the investment perspective, can you proceed?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. So as indicated, we received the report from EMJ on 14th November 2025. And we received this report via the Investments Committee WhatsApp group. And in that group, the acting principal officer called for an urgent meeting to discuss the contents of that report. And this meeting was held on 17th November 2025. It was a visual meeting, and it is what we are recording as the 11th Extraordinary Investment Committee meeting. So a record of that meeting has been provided, which indicates all attendees of that meeting. So when the report was read to the committee, as Secretariat, we reviewed the report and provided our response to the consultants as follows. And we should also note that we also drafted reports that were submitted to the acting principal officer and the investment committee chair via email in the evening of the 17th November 2025, because in that meeting it was resolved more or less that we should present our review to the acting principal officer, who will then proceed to share those comments with the consultant to amend on the issues that we had raised before they will resubmit that report back to the committee and the Secretariat for review prior to making a recommendation to the board. So we observed the following from that report. We noted that the projections that were being made appeared to be mechanically generated with multiple inconsistencies and omissions of critical assumptions and variables. Revenue was observed to be scaling faster than costs with no structural industry justifications provided. We also noted internal inconsistencies, particularly in revenue growth, margins, and finance costs, significantly undermining the reliability of the forecast and may misrepresent the investment risk profile. We observed that the business is highly sensitive to occupancy rates with downside risks greater than upside potential. And we noted that industry reports indicates that occupancy typically ranges between 35 to 55%. We noted that costs were understated in the forecast and that realistic inflation would erode margins very quickly. And we also noted that inflation had been incorrectly applied. I think the report from EMJ has been shared. So just to note that the consultant had adjusted the adjusted average market value from what was presented as an average from Garden City and Knight Frank to 107 billion, using multiplying those figures with headline inflation. And so we noted that CPI cannot be used to inflate business valuation, cannot be used to come up with inflation-adjusted market value. And we also noted that because the CPI had been inflated, it had an effect on the calculation of the adjusted net asset value, because also just to note that this adjusted net asset value informs the discounted cash flow, and so because this was inflated, it would affect the free cash flow in the DCF. We had also noted, so all of these notings are in the report that we provided to the acting principal officer and the investment chair. So we noted, since the DCF was, we noted that in the discounted cash flow, there was no what we call WASC, which so the absence of this raised concerns of the reliability of the DCF that was presented. And we also noted that the discount rate that was used at 20% was low. And we noted that typically these reports usually used above 30% discounted rate, and that using a lower discounted rate would inflate the value, and hence we are seeing an inflated valuation that was that raised the valuation from 47 billion to about 115, between 115 and 145 billion. And we noted the inconsistencies in the payback period. I think we had reported that the previous valuation that we had indicated a 36-year period, and we noted that this payback period that was reported to us was unrealistic, and we advised that the consultant revise their submission so that we can properly consider it. So we made the following recommendations: that the fund commission a different full independent valuation using income, market, and replacement approaches, rerun the DCF using a WACC based discount rate and realistic assumptions, reassess the purchase price based on collected valuation, conduct a full sensitivity and scenario analysis, provide a 10-year capital expenditure program, assess the impact of converting from a dry hotel to a full service model. I think you will note that one of the positives of the hotel that was being presented was because it would be turned into a wet hotel, and we had made a notice that impact was not assessed. So we also recommended that they provide a competitive benchmarking for Blantyre, and also considering that the hotel has malls that are leased, for them to evaluate more lease structures and related party dependencies. So just to note that after we made these presentations and the committee had directed that we submit this through the APO, the consultants were told to exit the meeting, and the meeting resolved that we submit, and then these be forwarded to the consultant, who will then work on his submission and submit it back to Secretariat and the committee. After that section of the meeting ended, a second part of the meeting proceeded, where the APO invited two officials from their introduction, who indicated they were from Liwimbi & Co., who presented a draft sale agreement. So this is on the same date. So they presented a draft sale agreement to the fund. At that time, note that the fund did not have in its possession a draft sale agreement, or because I think, as we noted previously, that the previous sale agreement was being commissioned by Night and Night, and our severing of more or less a relationship with NAM pertaining to this investment, we did not possess any sale agreement. So this was presented to the committee, and the committee considered it, and we had inquired on whether the sale agreement had been shared beforehand, before we proceeded with consideration of that sale agreement, and it had not been shared with the fund. And up to date, we have not seen from the Secretariat, possibly maybe apart from the acting principal officer, we have not seen the sale agreement, the signed or the draft. In between, after this meeting, I think these events occur from the 13th of November, where a draft contract, the one that was signed on the 14th, was submitted to the Legal Service Department for vetting. So on 18th November, the Legal Services Manager wrote the acting principal officer, where she indicated that she has noted that work had already been carried out, and she was unable to proceed with the vetting of that contract. So she noted that consultant had already carried out the work prior to the conclusion of the vetting process, and accordingly raised reservations in the conclusion of the vetting exercise. So in response to the concerns that LSM raised, the acting principal officer acknowledged the reservations and indicated that he would provide guidance on the issues that were raised. So I am concluding. On 19th November 2025, a 26th ordinary board meeting was held in Salima, where the Reserve Bank of Malawi came to the meeting to speak to the board. As Secretariat, we were told to go out. So this is a meeting that happened between the RFI and the board. So we're not privy to what was discussed, but after they had left, we were notified that the board had reported to the Reserve Bank of Malawi that they had signed a sale agreement. So from there, anything that has happened on. Sorry, just excuse me. Yeah, so she's just reminding me that we
Don't worry, you all of you took an oath. You've come as a solid team.
Yes.
Yeah, you're giving hope to a lot of young women and men out there, because you're giving this committee important information. You're not holding anything. This is what we want as citizens. No one must intimidate you. And I've personally, as a chair, I've liked the way you're presenting facts, because you're making our job easy as your parliament. We have men who are cowards out there. They will talk noise, too much noise out there. They can't bring even a text. But here you are, a young lady presenting things with power. Proceed.
Okay. So she was just reminding me that the sale agreement was signed on 17th November 2025. So as noted, it was reported to us on 19th November 2025. So all subsequent developments that have happened after that meeting, the Secretariat has learned from them through the media. And the Planning and Investment Department and Legal Services Division was not aware.
What is it that you got to know through the media as Secretariat? Please retake that one.
Particularly the price that was agreed, that was negotiated and agreed upon by the board and the seller.
We need your take on that one, a proper one, because you've said you got that. What is it? Is it the sale agreement that you heard on media, or the total value? What is it? The actual price? Can honor members? Can I have order, please? Can you retake that one?
Chair, we learned of the signing of the sale agreement on 19th November. So this was communicated to us by the board chair when he was recounting what had transpired between their meeting with the RFI. The sale price that was...
Who is your current board chair?
Mr. Kizaso Nyirongo.
You proceed.
Just to note that during the meeting, the 19th November meeting, we were told as Secretariat that we were not privy to that information. So they did not disclose the information to us on the price that they had bought the hotel. Can I proceed? I just had a few.
You can proceed. But just proceed.
So we just wanted to note that as Secretariat, we had not recommended or presented our recommendation from the report that was submitted by EMJ, because we had sent our consents for it to be revised accordingly, and as such, we did not advise on this sale whether to proceed or not, or even offer our. In as much as it should be noted that it rests in the board's mandate to make these decisions. As Secretariat, we just review and make recommendations, and it is their purview to go with the recommendations we make, and they might also go another way because we don't have those authorities to force them to make different decisions. So we take the decision that the board has made. So just to note that if things had proceeded in the way that we thought they would proceed, we could have received a revised report and we could have worked on it, make recommendations the way we were making recommendations based on the other reports that were submitted to us by CAM and NAM. I submit, Chair.
Thank you so much. And once again, thank you for the information that you've given to this committee. We will proceed by opening this to honorable members. Honorable members, any takers? I see is it Salima Central? Welcome back. Honorable members, as you are aware, Salima Central is not fit for all the days. Maybe we'll give him space. Welcome, and we thank God that you're fine. Welcome back to Parliament. Chitipa Central, Nkata Bay Central, Planta Central. Let's go Central. Zomba City North. That's Zomba City North. Chikwawa North. Mulanje Southeast, in that order, please. Salima Central.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairperson, for giving the people of Salima Central an opportunity to ask some questions to the Pensions Fund here. And I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity after I missed it for some days. I have 3 questions, Chair. Number one, from what I'm getting from this current presenter and the one we had before them, there are some similarities on what the seller was bringing, especially on the adjustment of price due to devaluation at that particular time, where the seller was asking 30% upward adjustment. But I'm not getting the feedback from the seller after the previous presenter rejected the adjustment, and even this one presenting now, once they reject them, I'm wondering the seller is not worried. Continue to say, so you can still take my materials, even you are not adjusting, though there is a devaluation. And I thought that Chair should get it from the presenter, why they did not see it, that this one, if he's not even worried when we are rejecting the offer, this is a dummy business. Number one. Number two, I am hearing from the presenter also that on 17th November 2025, they had a meeting also with the board and other people, but she did not indicate in detail who are these people who attended this meeting. And the last one, there was someone who came to present about the sale agreement of the hotel from Liwimbi and Company. But I don't know exactly who is this person. I wondered if I would know who came to represent the company, to share the details of the sale agreement. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Salima Central. Chitipa North, investment manager. Investment manager. Make sure that you're taking note of the constituencies. The first one was Salima Central. Now we're going to Chitipa Central. Chitipa Central, please.
Thank you, Chair. 2 questions to the procurement officer. First, only 2 firms responded to your call. I would like to know which forums were used to advertise the call. Secondly, what was the minimum qualification required for the job to be done? I believe not every German jack was allowed to apply. That is why you only had 2 firms. And Chair, I would request that also they share the call to the committee. The one they used to identify the film for that. Thank you, Chair.
Chitipa Central, thank you. we now go to Nkatabe Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. And let me correct myself. Day before yesterday, we had the appearance of Continental Asset Manager, CAM. The delegation was led by a madam, a lady, the controlling officer. We had a good interaction. So my asking the person representing the principal officer in the delegation was never meant to undermine the gender part of it. I just want to know who would be taking the lead. So the question I want to ask the delegation is as follows. I'm coming from my constituency in Nkatabe, and there I was told, because I'm sitting in here to speak and do oversight or represent. I am representing the people in the village. The people who worked in the civil service, now they have retired, they contributed to that fund. So they asked me to ask the following question. One, there is a terminology called corruption. Another one is called fraud. I want, in a layman's language, corruption is defined as the action of giving and receiving. Someone must give, someone must receive. That's corruption. Can you define fraud? Thank you very much.
Chikwawa North. Before Chikwawa North, there was the Zomba City North.
Thank you, Chair, for giving the people of Zomba City North an opportunity to ask a question. Earlier, within the period that we have been conducting this inquiry, we had the EMJ that presented their submission before this committee. And in the process, they indicated that they received a call from a procurement officer from the fund to proceed with the contract before signing the contract. I wanted to ascertain who was this procurement officer. May the Secretariat help us to identify this procurement officer. At the same vein, Honorable Chairperson, I wanted also to find out the supersonic speed that this job was awarded, especially starting from the engagement of the service provider, the evaluation, how the job was awarded. It moved in a supersonic speed. Was there not a red flag or an alarm that would have reported to the relevant authorities that there is fraud or corruption during this period? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I think there was the Blantyre Central. Blantyre Central, please.
Thank you, Chair. In her representation, the controlling officer mentioned about Zamara. We just want to know the role that Zamara played during this time when we were processing the transaction regarding the Amarylis hotel. Secondly, I would like to concur with Chitipa Central on the procurement process that was used to identify EMJ as the lowest bidder. Was it only the lowest bidder in terms of amount that was used? What other credentials did you use to have EMJ qualified for this particular and the job that is of a very high magnitude in terms of the business transaction, to have EMJ take up the business? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Blantyre Central. Chikwawa North.
Mr. Procurement Officer, what valuation methodologies did EMJ use to conclude that the hotel was indeed worth between 115 billion to 145 billion? Was this valuation reviewed by any independent valuation experts. Chair, number 2, I wanted the procurement officer to share us the bid document because I understand in the bid document there are instructions that somebody who would like to participate is supposed to follow qualifications, the scope of work, what the outcome will be. So I wanted this bid document, if possible, the controlling officer or the procurement officer can share with us to appreciate, because our worry is the transaction took place in 2 days and we had a final report after 2 days. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Mulanje Southeast.
Chair, the people of Mulanje Southeast would want to concur with your sentiments that we have seen a team of ladies making a very good work in terms of their presentation. The people of Mulanje Southeast are not easily convinced, but in this particular case, Chairperson would want to put it on record that we believe that the team that has made this representation, they know what they're doing and they know their job. In the same vein, Chair, the people of Mulanje Southeast would want to put it on record that what we are seeing from the Public Service Fund between the dates of 30th of October to 18th November are a classic example of a cleaning up exercise. Murder has taken place and somebody has been hired to clean up. And this is exactly what is happening in the Department of Procurement for the Public Service Fund. Chairperson, it's very sad to notice that our colleagues from the Public Service Fund, especially from the Procurement Department, would present with a straight face the sad events that happened in their department on these said dates. I'm not certain whether the person in charge of procurement knows what is supposed to happen when they are handling a procurement of a consultant to manage a job of this magnitude. Chairperson, 2 days ago when EMJ, the consultants, came in here, they had indicated to this honorable committee that they had been communicated to on the 12th of November by phone, telephonically, that they had been awarded this contract. And they never mentioned to this honorable committee that there was this process where they were asked to bid. It is on record, Chairperson, that they said that they had been told that they have been given the work on the 12th of November. And yet, the person responsible for procurement would want to make this honorable committee believe under oath that EMJ came on the 12th and they were sitting in their in their hall negotiating the contract on the 12th. Chairperson would want to ask our colleagues to provide this honorable committee with a trail of communications between themselves, as my friend from Chitipa and the Zomba City North have actually pointed out that would be interested to look at this trail from the time that they are fighting this bid to the people that respond, the evaluation, when the evaluation is conducted. The normal process, Chairperson, when a contract of this magnitude has been offered to a consultant, is that the consultant would be brought in to negotiate, and after negotiating, you would want to understand whether the consultant understands what you are asking them to do. Once they have done that, they provide an inception report And there is no way that an inception report would be delivered the very same day that the negotiations are being conducted. Then the team actually provides feedback. That's the time that you understand whether the consultant actually understands the work that is before them through the inception report. The feedback that you provide and is provided at that particular presentation of the inception report is what is used for the people to go on the ground to start doing the work. You want them to understand the terms of reference first before they actually do the work. Here we are, a project of an amount worth about 100 billion being granted on the 12th, and on the 14th the report is ready without an inception report. We sadly the lady has actually presented that they were askance as well, and they provided their comments, very professional, and I wouldn't fault them, but somebody somewhere was actually using them to clean up a process that was already running away. And this is exactly what is before our hands, Honorable Chairperson. And I'm not sure whether the people of Mulanje Southeast would want to be party to the process of cleaning up. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Mulanje Southeast. From the Pension Fund, please take those questions. We have one from Salima Central, Chitipa Central, Katabe Central, Zomba City North, Blantyre Central, Chikwawa North, and Mulanje South East. In that order, please.
So I'll take the first question from Salima Central on the price adjustment and whether we had received feedback from the seller, and wondering whether we did not see that their lack of response was an evidence of some dubious business. As I indicated, that our communication was going through the investment manager, who was NICO investment manager. They sent us the request, and they sent their recommendation on the request. We responded. If there was any response on that matter, we haven't seen it. So we would assume that the seller had approved, was okay with the price maintaining. I cannot speak to the actions of the seller or even what was happening in the behind the scenes, but I can only speak to what we were aware of. And just note that soon after, I think we sent our communication on 5 December 2023, and on 19th, the investment manager was advising us not to proceed with the investment. So those are the only facts that I can speak to. So the rest of the issues, I would only speculate which would not be truthful. Honorable Salima Central also requested for us to put on record the people who attended the meeting on 17th November 2025. I think we have submitted the minutes of this meeting, which has a record of the members that attended this meeting. In our submission, there are also, because this was a Teams meeting, there are also recordings. So those communications clearly state out the members that were present in that meeting. I don't know if that submission satisfies Salima Central.
Salima Central. Are you satisfied?
Chair, I was just checking from the presentation. I did not know this was also indicated in the shared minutes. But if that is shared in the minutes, then that's fine. But from the presentation, that was not indicated, Chair.
Is that okay? Controlling officer, you may proceed.
So the third question that was asked by Salima Central was directed to procurement to respond on. Oh, sorry. There was on who came to represent. I think this is also taken into account in the submission of the record of this meeting. Thank you very much, Chair. I'd like to, if
you can now you can go to the second one because you are addressing Salima Central. You can go to Chitipa Central and proceed all the way to Mulanje Southeast.
Thank you, Chair. The question for Chitipa Central will be responded by the procurement and disposal officer. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. It's my plea that I begin with Mulanje East, if it's acceptable, because there will be like wherever questions are going, the introduction to this can also assist.
Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable from Mulanje East wondered what kind of consultancy can go that supersonic speed where there's no inception report, draft report, or whatsoever, as the case with the procurement of consultancy services. Indeed, I agree entirely with you, Honorable, but let me quickly open the terms of reference where I should just read point number 6 so that members can appreciate what kind of law, what kind of this procurement was it to do with exactly what we do with consultancy services. These terms of reference were not prepared from procurement department, were prepared from the principal officer's office. So, number 6, where they are saying time frame for the assignment. The assignment will involve the updating of the already existing reports on the business analysis that was done by other consultants on the same investment. A greater part of the assignment will involve using secondary data or desk reviews. To this effect, the assignment should be completed within 10 working days and all deliverables be submitted within 30 days. I end what I wanted to quote. So, Honorable Chair and members, you will see that in a normal consultancy services, we cannot be talking of 10 days. And when procurement department received the request to procure independent investment analysis consultant for Amarylis transaction, which I am holding here, the approval was, I approve this, okay, PDO this is approved, please source free quotations for this consultancy. Please act with agency. So,
switch off, can you switch off your mic? The investment manager, where is the controlling officer?
He's in South Africa.
Can you communicate to him that Parliament want to see him here next week, Wednesday, 8 a.m.? Proceed, controlling officer, the procurement officer.
thank you, Honorable Chair and Honorable Committee. So, you will, with this that I've just given, you see that the treatment of this kind of procurement cannot be treated exactly the way we treat all other consultancy services. This is more like we are engaging like a non-consultant services, like maybe we are getting quotation to hire cleaning services. It's more like the same because of the period, the time that is stipulated here. So I wanted to explain on that first. Okay. Maybe I can.
Honourable members, I would like to get the comfort that what he is saying and what he is also saying is helping us to build a proper case. I would like to ask honourable members, I had opened up that we can ask. Now that he is responding. Since morning, this is the second key stakeholder. We have a new board. They are coming in. You're not knocking off. We need to do a great job to Malawians. So, you are not knocking off up until we handle the new board. Those who feel that their energy levels are low, you can be walking out and coming in. I'm here on your behalf to make sure that we conclusively get to the bottom of this thing. As your chair, I would like to play that can we hold on point of orders and we get all these informations. Procurement manager, proceed.
Chair and committee. The other one chair is from Zomba City North. Zomba City North indicated, sorry, not indicated, but he mentioned that EMG consultants indicated that they received a phone call to proceed with the works from the procurement officer. Chair, I should be comfortable saying in this house that I do not know anything about that call. Because our nature of our profession, we do not communicate to a supplier, to a bidder, before concluding the procurement itself. What I can accept to say I called this consultant was to come and correct his appointment letter. That's what I did. And from the records that I was giving, you will see that that was on 14th. And I'm also hearing right here that the report came on 14th, which I'm hearing it from this house as well. So I want to refute this allegation that this consultant alleged, unless he got a communication from somebody else, because the procurement is a process, he can, but not from my office. Honorable Chikwawa North, Honorable Chair, and the whole Honorable House. Chikwawa North talked only the price range of how this consultant come up with the price range. Honorable House, let me be silent on this one because our range of engagement and this price, I think, is something now going back to the investment because we are not engaging in money, anything to do with the price. So I think maybe I may not competently comment on this one.
You're free, Procurement Officer, to proceed that way because it is on record again that those from investment were never part of these things. So you are also refuting in terms of how they arrived at the figure. The more reason Parliament has directed that the officer has to come and clear himself because the Parliament doesn't discuss people who are not available. So we'll proceed. We'll allow you to proceed as well on other matters. Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. On the same Chikwawa North, he wanted the fund to share the bid document. This Chair, Honorable Chair, will be done. Maybe when we will be doing as you advised to say the titles should have names, so we may submit together with the copies of that document. And Planta Cento also asked about the criteria for qualifying EMJ and which may be limited other prayers. Let me also quickly just go on the terms of reference that were provided, and I will straight away go to qualifications and experience. The consultant should have 10 years of progress. So I'll take it again. The consultant should have 10 years of progressing work experience in business analysis and have at least a bachelor's degree in business, accounting, auditing, investment. Having expertise in hospitality business analysis is an added advantage. So this was about qualification and experience, which was not very alarming, but the period involved to solicit is what maybe might have limited the other prayers. Thank you, Chair.
So thank you so much. I think you've gotten your submission. Colleagues from the investment department, you may proceed. Taking other questions. Because she moved on to ask him to attend to procurement issues. Procurement officer, can you attend to Chitipa Central? Chitipa Central, can you come out clearly? Just refresh him.
Yeah, the advert, which forum were used? Was it headhunting?
Chitipa Central, relax.
Apologies, Chair.
Procurement.
Let me rephrase my question.
Before you switch on your mic, procurement manager, when he's done, let him switch off his mic. It will help us to record in a nice way so that you're audible. Okay? Please proceed, Chitipa.
Thank you, Chair. My question was, which forum was used to advertise the call? Was it headhunting or it was advertised? And again, I asked of a minimum qualification, but you have attempted to answer the question by saying you were looking at experience. But experience starts from a qualification of some sort. So you were identifying a firm or an individual. Thank you, Chair.
Procurement Manager.
Thank you, Chair, and the whole committee. Maybe I should begin with number two question, then I come to the first one, of minimum requirements. Honorable House, since we will be sharing the whole bid document, where these are just the terms of reference, which is incorporated into the solicitation document. So I think that will clear our side, because we will share that one. Is it in order?
For the sake of progress, let us proceed.
Thank you, Chair. The first one, Chair, was how did you do that? Was it, how did you advertise? Was it handpicking, or what did it happen in terms of attracting the bidders? This one, as I explained in my presentation, to say, looking at the period that is given, if we are talking of 10 days period, I don't think it could be viable to advertise in a newspaper or in any form. But the only way out was to go through the registered suppliers, bidders, and the PPD database and call them. And this is what I did. So we call them to have to come and correct the bidding document. Like the one in question, the EMJ advisory, after calling, he said, we have to send him to his email. Those were the communication in short. Thank you, Chair.
Controlling office, colleagues from investment department. Can we allow her to wind up? Then we'll get to that, honourable members.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm going to request my colleague to respond to the question on that was posed by Nkatabe Central on the definition of fraud. So our legal services manager is going to respond to that before we proceed with the other questions.
Proceed.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, I'll take the question from Honorable Nkatabe Central. You asked me to define, simply put, corruption. Was it fraud? Yes. You asked me to define fraud. To put it simply and plainly, wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. I hope that suffices.
So much. You can proceed responding to the other questions.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Responding to the question that was posed by Zomba City North, I hope I'm not mistaken on the, I think the speed of the whole process, and if whether we noticed or raised alarm. Just to note that when we received the report on 14th November, and we were engaging with the consultant, we, when we were querying even the valuations, they had responded to us that they did not have time. So we responded, questioned why they did not have time. Because our understanding was they needed to sit with this and probably give us an investment analysis that was backed by research, and that was probably done in short. And so they had indicated to what the procurement officer has alluded to, that they were given 14 days. So they had, according to them, they had worked within those timelines. I think for us at that meeting, we were not aware, I think, of the things that have, the revelations that have come up from their presentation, that they started the work on the 12th and then they submitted on the 14th. We just received on the 14th. So our concerns were raised there and then about the incompleteness of the report. So those were what we had indicated. So for us, I think that constituted us raising even to our controlling officer, because he was in that meeting. So us saying we are raising these concerns about the report, and they had responded about the shortness of the time. So we considered that as us raising the alarm to our controlling officer. Apologies that I did not record on who questioned about the role of Zamara. Okay. Thank you very much. Through you, Chair. I'm going to respond to this question in a manner of explaining the role of Zamara to the fund. So I indicated in my earlier submission that we have Zamara administrators who provide administration services to the fund. In these services, they do data management, reconciliation, that includes reconciliation. So when resources have been submitted into our account, they match the schedules that have been presented to the information of the members. So that is allocating the money that have been allocated, that have been submitted. So this is when at a given month, that would indicate that so and so, this was their submission, matching the 5% and the 10% that has been submitted. And also, when we have, when the board has made decisions on beneficial allocation, we communicate to them and they facilitate the payment to the beneficiaries. I think in short, I would respond it as that, as the role of Zamara on the fund. So I indicated there are two entities that are referred to as Zamara. So there's Zamara administrators and then there's Zamara actuaries. So these are from Kenya. The committee should note that in Malawi we do not have a firm, qualified firm that offers actuarial services. So we contracted outside the country. So their role is to provide actuarial services and also provide investment advice to the board. So just to note, I might take you back to just to show their role to the fund. So I might take you back to a letter that we received dated 15th November 2023. So this was after the previous board was sitting, and when discussions were being undertaken on this investment, they had requested for investment advice. So they provided investment advice, in short, advising the fund to further engage various investment I think just to, it's a letter that is 2 pages. I don't know if I have the time to read it, but they recommended for the fund to conduct a comprehensive investigation into conditions, legal status, financial viability of each property that the fund would invest in before purchasing or investing. They also recommended that we should have a property investment strategy. They recommended that we should get expert advice. So in this, they recommended panel of experts, including fund managers, actuaries, property experts, tax specialists, property lawyers, to ensure that the fund is informed. So just to speak to the role of the two. So since I wasn't aware of between the two, which one was being asked, so probably maybe I might request Banta Central to clarify on the two Zamara firms they were referring to, for me to probably maybe make a further response.
Through you, Chair, I was looking for the one responsible for the actuaries. what was the role, specific role in this investment that we are discussing here? After they submitted their recommendations, what was the way forward regarding the same investment? Did they respond further, or that was after they responded to your request, it ended there, or maybe they further engaged you regarding the same? Thank you.
Maybe colleague from investment, it's more of having Zamara as an administrator and as well as an actuary. Is that not a conflict of interest? Because earlier on the administrator was Old Mutual. So it's more like a two-trust shop subcontracting another two-trust shop to do the similar job, much as the entities. They are two different legal entities, but one and the same. Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I would just reiterate my point when I was presenting the role of Zamara. So as I indicated, they provide investment advice upon request. So we requested when the board had in their interaction, because our service providers, they engage with us on a quarterly basis. So the actuaries came where they meet with the board, the investment committee meeting, and in our interaction, when we were discussing the various proposals that were at the table, they gave us this advice through a communication. So this was their how they were involved, I think, on this instance, because they were asked to provide this advice. So as I indicated, they provide the advice upon request. So from this advice that they had given, we had not engaged them yet. Of course, if you note that we had made recommendations for us to further engage them, but we had not reached at that stage when we had engaged the actuaries to do certain assessments on our behalf. I'm moving on to the supplementary question that you asked on the conflict of interest between Zamara administrators and actuaries. I would like to note that these are two entities. Zamara is the company registered in, Zamara administrators, it's a company registered in Malawi. Whilst Zamara actuaries, they're a company in Kenya. They are sister companies, but different entities. On the conflict of interest, and this was declared and noted, and I would surmise that they are doing two different work. So Zamara administration and actuary work are two different responsibilities. So I would say that the conflict does not arise. That's our impression anyway. So you have mentioned on Old Mutual. So our contracts run for 3 years. So Old Mutual was contracted by the fund, and their contract ended March 2020. And we advertised for firms to bid for administration services, and we had several bids. And from those bids, Old Mutual was not successful, so we were unable to continue our services with Old Mutual. Zamara administrators were the ones who were successful, and they were given a contract up to, I think the contract ends, 2027. So that's what I would say. I think we were not constrained to continue with the Old Mutual, considering that we had a proper procurement process that led to us appointing Zamara as administrators. Chair, if I may continue with the rest of the questions.
Let's proceed.
From Chukwawa North, there was a question on what valuation methodologies were used, whether they were vetted by an independent advisor. Of course, Chair, I think from the report that we received, they first used an inflation adjustment market and net asset value, and then they proceeded to a discount cash flow valuation, which of course we noted that lacked consideration of work, and also noted that it was understated, so the 20%. And I should note that this submission did not include what assumptions were used to come up with the 20% discount rate. And we should also note that in the meeting we had requested for them to share us a schedule, a model that they had used, because we wanted to test it and see if it's to test the assumptions that they are used, and this was not submitted to us as Secretariat. I think it was whether it was vetted by an independent advisor. I think if you note that after that submission, we requested for a revised report which was not submitted. So I would safely say this was not vetted by an independent advisor. And we note that in our recommendation, we had requested that we should engage an independent advisor to redo this evaluation, or them redoing the evaluation based on correct assumptions. I hope that satisfies the question. Apologies, Chair, just some minutes to concur on the list of the questions.
Maybe you need the 5 minutes break, or we proceed this way? Or we can proceed?
We can proceed, we're fine. Yeah, thank you
so much for that level of endurance. We proceed.
We needed some time. We're not sure if Mulanje Southeast was asking a question for us to respond.
Okay, Mulanje Southeast started with compliments. Thereafter, it was to do with procurement, which the procurement manager responded.
Chairs, I think that marks the end of the questions that we had to respond to, that were given to us at the moment.
And we have Blanta Chilomone, Lilongwe Chirobwe, Chilazulu Nyungwe, and Chikwawa North. Lilongwe Chirobwe, you are there, so I recognized you.
I want to find out from you. You just said that there was a sale agreement. You never told this committee who drafted that sale agreement, number one. Number two, how much money was paid? Number three, when was the money paid? Number four, how was that particular amount of money paid? Secondly, just so we balance on both sides, you operated for 12 months without a board. Who are the senior managers at that particular time? Thirdly, I want to find out from you that there has been a forensic audit that has been initiated right now to find out who were making major decisions at that time. Can you tell this committee that you're not hanging someone just to run away from that forensic audit? Chair, just to mention that there are only a few Malawians who can come out here clearly, and women for that matter, and tell it like it is. In short, whatever she has told this committee chair and the nation at large, watira nchenga mpunga wagulu. Now, her security is at risk because we are talking about 128 billion. It's not simple money. It's a lot of money, Chair. I don't know how you may guide. I submit.
Thank you so much. I think I also highlighted on the same, but would like to assure them that after this meeting, I will engage the speaker to report on few things. Then I'll make a proper communication through Secretariat so that they can also provide enough guidance. But otherwise, everyone who is against corruption today can celebrate. I know others are looking for more information, but I can assure you that anything that we have from anyone will form part of the committee's decision and the report. So be assured. Maybe as you are taking that one from Blantyre's ceremony, you may wish also to indicate who approves that payment. Do you issue checks? Do you do bank transfers? Who are signatories to that? If it's the online transfers, who are the people responsible to approve those transfers? On top of that, which bank are you using? Or which banks did you use when you're making those payments? I think we'll take it that way. Maybe you may take this, then we go to the other one. Over to you. I know you're conferring now and again. It is also alleged that the legal officer was sent on leave. The legal officer, can you get to the mic? Is it true that you were once sent on forced leave because you had provided an opinion on how to proceed, or is just mere speculation?
Chair, I can confirm that I was put on leave as of 12 January 2026, and I'm still currently on leave.
Kindly provide papers to Parliament which nurtured the provision of such a leave, because we want to put the record straight going forward. This is a nation that we must save. So trust your Parliament. Members are set to doing the good job. Colleague in the investment, can you kindly proceed?
Thank you, Chairperson and committee members. My colleague will respond on who drafted the sale agreement.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. To address the question presented by Honorable Representing Blantyre Chilomoni on who drafted the sale agreement, I think allow us to take it back to the reference that we made in the report of the virtual meeting that was held on the 17th of November 2025. To our knowledge, as the Planning and Investments decision, it was in this meeting, in the second part that we mentioned earlier, because there were two parts to this meeting. It was in the second part of the meeting where we were joined by other councils who were presenting a draft sale agreement in that meeting. And the reference of that meeting has been attached. As earlier said, it was virtual via Microsoft Teams. So the parties present in that meeting can be referred to on that attachment. So
there's a point of order here, Vice Chair.
Which council attended the meeting?
As earlier referenced, there were two representatives from GD Liwimbi and partners. So on the specifics, this can be referred to the attachment that we have provided of the meeting.
We know because earlier on there were engagements which we undertook, so we'll ask you to proceed because of the other things which were raised as well from Blantyre Nancholi. So we need to engage the speaker on a few other things, but have a comfort. Be assured that everything that we have is safe and secure.
Thank you, Chair. So, as earlier mentioned, it was in this meeting that the draft sale agreement was presented. It must be noted that as the Planning and Investments Department, we were not provided with this sale agreement prior, and to date, we have not seen the agreement. So with reference to who drafted the sale agreement, because it was not to our knowledge that the agreement would be presented in the first place, the councils were invited in the meeting by the acting principal officer. So in that sense, I think our knowledge of who drafted it would be limited to that effect. Thank you, Chair.
There were several questions. How much was paid? The banks which were involved, was it through a check and an electronic transfer, all those things? Maybe when payments are being made, are you aware as Secretariat that this payment is being made? Out of all of you, do you have a signatory from that side? As you're looking on the specifics, just that one.
Okay, so I'll respond it in this way. I think there was a question on who is our banker. So we had indicated that FDH Bank is our custodian. So our accounts rests with FDH Bank. I think if you note the area submission by the previous chair, I think ably explained the role of the custodian. So as apart from keeping our documentation in terms of title deeds, etc., they also are our banker. On the whether from the Secretariat there is a signatory, I can safely say no. We are not signatories on that account. On
which account are you signatories?
On all funds account.
Proceed.
On how much money has been paid so far, our response would only refer to the reports that we have received from our investment managers, reports for January, where we noted some disinvestments on various amounts. So that is the only amount that we can ascertain to. Whether that amount was paid to the seller, we are not aware. And in what manner, we are not aware. On who approved the payments, all of this happened without our knowledge, so we don't know the processes that were used, what kind of instruction they received, who authorized the payments. I think these questions as we stand now, we cannot provide any information. But what we have are the figures that were disinvested on our portfolio when the investment managers reported their report for January. Chair, if I may proceed.
When I'm seated here, at least colleagues, you can move around, but you know, I sit here, so I keep getting a lot of things and try to decipher at once. Investment manager. Do you feel that all these things, if you were consulted or you were being told, you could have done better than how it was done? Or when you saw all these issues in the media all over, as someone who is in the Secretariat, were you alarmed? Do you regret that you were still in the Secretariat and all these things are happening? If it was given a chance, how do you think you can discharge your duties on this transaction?
Thank you, Chair. So I take it this question is being asked in my capacity as planning and investment manager. So as earlier indicated, we had provided advice on how the processes of investment should take place. So normally investments come from investment managers. They provide analysis. We review the reports that they have given us, and we also consider other factors in the market and make recommendations to the board. So when the board makes a decision to proceed with the investment or not, we facilitate communication to the investment manager, informing them of the board's decision. Now, they are the ones that are dealing with the seller. So a process where, say, a sale agreement has been reached, I think typically a sale agreement would have different levels on how payments are made, and clauses like things to satisfy. So maybe submission of this documentation, 10% is going to be paid. This done, this amount is going to be paid. So the assumption would be that the investment manager who is in contact with the seller, he or she is facilitating, they are facilitating this transaction. So they would report to us to say, this has been satisfied, and we see that, okay, it has been satisfied. Then an approval by the board is made to pay the certain amount that has been requested. So this is an amount that has already been approved. So then that amount would be paid. And then, and up to the point that the transaction has been finalized. And then our job then is afterwards to review the performance of that investment through the investment manager. So as indicated, our role is once the investment manager is managing this investment for us, they will be sending us reports on the performance. So we're looking at the performance and provide our advice to the board on how the fund is performing, and if we have any advice on whether changes that can be made or to disinvest, etc., looking at how the investment is proceeding. So the question of given a chance, so if I was, and I think I was consulted in the meetings, and we provided the guidance on how this should proceed. So in a normal circumstance, this is what I would recommend for the fund to proceed. And I should note that previous investments have generally followed this kind of process. Of course, I think I noted that there are different investments that we invest in, so they have different processes that they would follow. So there are some that might not follow the same rigorous process. This is about how the investment is structured. So some investment on the stock market, etc., might not follow the same in terms of the structure of facilitating the transaction. But I don't know if my response is satisfactory.
Helped us to generate few more points for our decision-making process. Chikwawa West.
Thank you very much, Chair. When the procurement officer was responding to who attended the meeting, she just said we have provided the list, maybe for the benefit of all members. And now that we are, we want you, if possible, that you can maybe indicate the names according to the list that you have submitted. If you can at least mention the names that attended that meeting. Thank you. The meeting of 17th November 2025, which was online. Thank you.
Please proceed to respond to Chikwawa West. Can you proceed to read the submission that you made, please?
Should we read it? Through your chair, if possible, can we request a 5-minute break?
5-minute break granted.
Osaiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.